Tonight on a special 2020, Barbara sits down with President and Mrs. Obama in their only interview together this year. As with all of Barbara's interview, this one is quite revealing. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, now I see you. Yes, because it's morning. Well, I've been fortunate to interview the President and First Lady 5 different times. And I think as you'll see when they're together, they're different. There is an affection and a relaxation that you don't see, you know, when he's addressing the camera and doing a serious interview. They bring out the best in each other. Do you think that the First Lady might have made a better president than you?
Of course. That's an easy question. But she's smart enough to know that you know, she might not want to go through the process.
I absolutely don't agree. I mean, it takes, you know, he has a level of patience and focus and tenacity and calm, you know, that, that just doesn't, you know, come by anyone.
You don't have that patience.
I definitely don't.
So do you, you know, when everything's quiet late in the evening, do you nag him and say, honey, why don't you this, that?
No, I try not to do that. We both try to make sure that home is a sanctuary, particularly because when we're home, our girls are home, and they dominate the conversation when they're there, and they're not talking about issues of the day. They're talking about issues of their day, which has nothing to do with what's going on in the rest of the world. So, you know, everyone has to have their safe haven, a place of peace and calm, and, you know, that's home for us. So I try to stay out of his ear. He's got enough people in his ear.
It's so interesting. You never see him smile so broadly as when he's with her. Did they talk at all about their plans for when they leave the White House, which isn't too far away? Yeah,
he's very young. I mean, when he leaves the White House, only he'll be 55. He says that he will not ever run again for elective office. I mean, he's not going to end up being governor or mayor of something. And a lot of it depends on Sasha, the younger child, because she will only be a sophomore by the time his term is up. So the question is, do they stay in Washington because of her? And it's something they're thinking about and they discussed. Or do they take her out of school and go where? Back to Chicago? He has a whole, you know, he's a very young president, and he's got many years ahead.
Many years ahead. You also got a chance to see them with their dogs?
Yeah. Everybody's favorite dogs. Well, you know, Bo is now, I think, like 5 years old, with the white paws and the white chest. And then they have Sunny. Sunny is 17 months old. I'm an authority on dogs. She says, she told me that when the president's away, she sleeps with Bo. And I asked him about that. And he said, no, she never does. And she said, shh.
So she does. I can take that as a yes. So you, this is obviously not the first time you've interviewed a president. How many presidents have you interviewed?
8.
8
different presidents, yes, starting with Richard Nixon. I mean, some people think, Dan, that I started with Abraham Lincoln, but that is a myth.
No.
I never, no, 8 different presidents, and you see me with Nixon. Nixon was a very uncomfortable man and hard to interview and get through to. And when we would sit beforehand while the crew was getting prepared, and he wanted to be sort of like, you know, he would tell off-color jokes to the crew.
Really? That was his way to loosen up?
Yeah, and to loosen the crew up and to say, hey, I'm one of you, because he never really felt that way.
Any other tidbits from the 8 presidents you've interviewed in terms of what they're like off camera?
George Bush used to like to have Laura next to him. He was more comfortable having her next to him. Richard Nixon never had Pat
never
next to him, no. And they were different in the way they behaved. For example, you'd get time cues. I mean, they would tell you how much time you have in advance. Bill Clinton was always late and would stay forever.
This is fascinating stuff. I'm really looking forward to watching this tonight. And by the way, you look terrific in those glasses, I should say.
At least I can see.
That's right. Well, hopefully. Thank you very much. And you can see all of Barbara's special tonight on 2020 at 10, 9 Central, right here on ABC. Thanks again, Barbara.
Thank you.